Better? Ah, girl. Girl. Well, yes, I am. Just, you know, gracefully placed here in this specific backlit setting just so I can kind of like have this piece of fence in my background. Storytime, my neighbors built the wall. Storytime, my neighbor is Donald Trump. Storytime, this is a mess. Welcome. So I live in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina.
Not for long though.
Okay, so like a little backstory to set the scene, I guess. I live with my sister and have lived here off and on since she moved here like 7 years ago. So like just for about that whole time, my sister and my brother-in-law have been friends with their neighbors next door. We were all friendly. I mean, I was there when he got stuck in his roof when he was hanging up Christmas lights. So like, but my sister and her husband were best friends with them for like years. Now, since the rise of Trump during campaigning and the line between everyday life and activism slash like political existence grows thinner and thinner, or grew thinner and thinner, distance kind of grew in that situation. So basically, to like make a long story short on this end, my neighbor ended up being a Trump supporter and then literally built a wall between us. LMAO. Like, I'm actually screaming, but like I'm screaming. They actually built a fence connected to their backyard fence, but only on our side. Like, there's now just this strip of fence only on one side of their front yard against our house. You can't even make this stuff up. Like, they literally built a fence between us because, oh no, those people challenging white supremacy are challenging me. Help. To set the scene again, they have a yard, a backyard. Backyard fenced in, as one does, same. But like last month, they literally built one strip of a fence going from their backyard into the front yard, only on one side. You have 4 sides of a yard, right? It's a box, whatever. Only on the one side. These ones are just open, so like it actually serves no purpose. And I am eternally screaming. It is, wow. And it's weird because now they feel some kind of way, like low-key, about us literally receiving the memo and saying cool whatevs and like no longer hanging out. Despite the fact that I'm making this into a video, which would probably make you think otherwise, I actually don't care about it. I find it really, really funny. But I wanted to make a video because, one, I find it hilarious. It's just like trolley behavior. I'm like, wow, you really spent all of that money and all of your energy and time on me? Thank you so much. Like, #1 fan. And #2, this really opens up a kind of discussion, a much larger discussion on bigotry in general, which is something that could be touched on and then, as per usual, could be expanded way beyond this little video. There's this expectation and narrative that bigotry and racism, etc., only exist in blatant aggressions and being an open Nazi versus being your run-of-the-mill white supremacist and all of the seemingly chill microaggressions that go along with that. You know, this is nothing new. How many times have I experienced myself or seen people turn their backs over and over again because you won't justify and agree with their trash behavior and beliefs? That other people are inherently lesser than because of race, gender, size, sexuality, class, religion, whatever. Then being mad at you for cutting them out of your life instead of sitting down and allowing these bigoted people to rub their garbage beliefs that you're not even a person in your face. This kind of goes into that concept of like, ooh, you can be friends even with differences, sure, but not fundamental differences. No, fundamental differences are a huge thing. Why would we be friends if you don't even respect my existence, let alone my friends and family? Like, why would that be a thing? If we're polar opposites in beliefs like that, why would we? I don't understand. Opinion-based things, sure, but not things like racism and sexism. And why would we be friends? Why would I keep you in my life? Why would I put myself through that? You know, racism isn't always grand, blatant gestures or slurs followed by violence. It's also jokes and nicknames that you somehow think are harmless. It's being called dirty. It's being followed around by store employees. It's also your neighbors who say, I'm not racist, but vote for Donald Trump, who think Mexican people are criminals coming here to steal our jobs, and then excuse white supremacy even in its most blatant forms. Because, like, the KKK isn't a bad thing, right? Like, right? It's saying, I'm not racist, but then letting your views that say otherwise slip out. Throwing a tantrum a month before they know we're moving, and actually building a wall between the houses, all the while feeling the need to throw out all of these various stories about the fence, and defending and excusing the construction of said fence, which isn't even really a big deal, but doing all that even though no one said anything about it to them. Sounds like someone has a guilty conscience. Can't relate. So yeah, like, Trump supporters are a joke. Your trash is visible. You might want to go to the dump. And then there's this weird manipulation factor that honestly goes even deeper than this into different topics, but these people assume and demand that you apply your empathy, something they're clearly lacking, to them. That you give what you've got to them. That you care for them and respect their opinions and their worldviews because you have empathy and care for the collective world. And then when you don't have empathy for their bigotry, suddenly it's,
well, look who's intolerant now.
why wouldn't you just listen to what I say?
You just don't want to be challenged.
Why should I respect you if you don't respect me not respecting your existence? It's just like a common thread amongst conservative, alt-right, Trump supporter, racist, white supremacist garbage, I guess. I don't know. But what I do know is I have no tolerance or empathy for racism or racist people. I just don't. I will not fight to the death for a Nazi's right to do and say what they do. Like, that is simply not me. I'm not doing that. I don't respect or have empathy for anything a white supremacist says or does. I have no empathy for homophobic or transphobic people. I will not tolerate anti-blackness. I will not tolerate Islamophobia. I will not tolerate racism towards Latinx people. I will not tolerate anti-indigenous beliefs. I'm not going to tolerate fat phobia. I'm not here for your misogyny. I'm just not. I will not tolerate bigotry. Like, nah girl, get out of here. Bye. And yet, because I care so deeply about marginalized people and bodies and communities as a marginalized person, I'm supposed to also extend that caring to people on the opposite side of the spectrum who want the exact opposite. I'm sorry, what? You must have the wrong number. Return to sender. No, thank you. I'm good. So, have a nice life, honey. So yeah, that's just something that happened kind of recently. It's not really a big deal, but like, it opens up into discussions because it's an action that has a message. The message was received. And that's it. I don't know what else there is to say about that. We come in peace. Subscribe for new videos whenever they get posted. Social media crap in the description. Okay, bye. People be doing this crap
All the time.
Storytime. The trash takes out itself. So yeah, also it's that time when I pump in and say, hey, I have a Patreon. If you want to support me, you can do so. I would be super grateful. And yeah.